9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow, it's time to rise. SFL nights on the starry skies. AJ Striker, feel her heat. The sultry voice, so silky sweet. Whispers in the air, light down low. Bubbly charm, let the stories flow. In the league where dreams unite. Ashley's got you, hold on tight. Under her lights, SFL players shine bright. AJ's putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the low. SFL night, get in the down low. In the game, she's making plays. Arizona's queen, be leading the way. A community ambassador, off the field, laying on hands, see it all get healed. From the huddle to the show, Ashley's got that infectious glow. Interviews that make you sway. In her presence, you wanna stay. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here for you with a spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, get in the down low. SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow, hey, SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow. From the huddle to the show, Ashley's got that infectious glow. Interviews that make you hurt. In the presence, you wanna stay. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, getting in the down low. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, getting in the down low. Day turns tonight. Let's go. Turn down those lights. It's Ashley's turn to make you feel so right. Under her lights. As the conversation is about to ignite, it's always SFL nights. Under her lights. Let's go.
What is up? What is up? What is up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. And listen, had to take a break last week. Hit show 3:30, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time for a little vacation for you, girls. So that's what I did. I just went ahead and just kind of relaxed, and we had a lot of things happen. We had the wild card games going on. We had SFLm that just restarted back up this week too. So it's just been a lot going on throughout the league. But I'm not necessarily going to talk about SFL majors tonight. My focus is going to be on the SFLm. Now, Eddie and the guys over at Streets Are Talking with Chad and VJ and Keith. Great show. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, go check it out at Eddie Gage over at Twitch. Great show. They talked a lot about SFL action, SFL picks and everything. But again, I am going to talk about these rookies that decided to join. I have actually, it's funny because I have a little bit of both worlds, if I should say. I have owner, coach, rookie, and commissioner, all representing the SFLm. So eventually I'm going to have all of them come on and we're all going to have one big conversation. But I want to kind of start off with our new commissioner for the SFLm, Mr. Alex West. Now, if you've seen my show rather recently, you've seen him and his beautiful wife Zena on. And now, and he was actually just going out for an SFLm bid. Now, you're running the whole doggone thing. What's up, man? How are you?
Well, busier than I know how to say. I'll say busier than a bee in a field of flowers. And keep it a PG for now.
Right. Wait till I kick up the other show, then you can go as ham as you want to. But welcome back. I'm super proud of you. I'm going to start off there. I mean, you came in the league. You were on my show. You told me that you wanted to make an impact as a player, and then that love grew, to wanting to be more involved. You became a broadcaster, then you wanted to be an owner of your own team, and now you're over it. So tell us, what is that feeling like for you to be able to go through all of those stages rather quickly?
So there's two ways that you can really think about it, or rather, there's three different ways that it feels at any given moment. All of them feel correct at different points in time. The first is just the sheer fun and joy that comes along with the drop of a roller coaster. There's nothing like that moment where your stomach starts to fly up. Some people, that's where the screaming starts. For me, that's when the adrenaline kicks in, and that's the whole reason I'm there, is the speed, to experience that kind of rush and that change. That speed, though, that velocity is how fast it's felt. It's crazy. Or another example would be like going down a whirlpool, and it slowly starts getting faster and faster and faster. That's been my entire attention span in life, being steadily drawn into the SFL's gravity well. It's because, it was just a little bit at first, and then I started to do more, and I loved it, and I started to do more, and I loved it even more. The more I put into this community, the more I felt I got back from it. That's why I kept broadcasting. That's why I called so many games this year. That's why everything. It's kind of special here, and this place scratches the right parts of my brain.
I totally agree. And I think, if you're going to pay your money and you're going to be here, you should get the full experience, at least try, right? I mean, I've been a player, I've tried broadcasting, I've tried stats. We had a multimedia team back in the day where we were actually cutting our own highlights, and I was helping out with that. Social media team. So you can make this experience the way you want to. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's interesting that you're now going to be at the front lines. So rookies are coming in, like our wonderful rookie that's joining us tonight, Mr. Rodney Smith, tight end for the San Jose Flight. And I will say San Jose Flight always represents on this show. Kudos to the San Jose Flight every time, every season. But you're going to be kind of facilitating their experience. You're going to be helping cultivate them from the seedlings that they are. How important is that to you?
That's the reason I took the job.
Yeah.
Going back even further, that's the reason I decided that I wanted to own an SFLm team. I didn't want notoriety. I didn't want fame. I'm not here for the competition. I went on the show and I said then, I don't want championships. I want 12 first-round draft picks, because that means that I've cultivated a roster that, the majority of which was worth something to every single team out there whenever they were on the board. And it was hard to say no. It was very hard to say no to my guys and gals, non-binary pals. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just no contest to me that the future of the SFL is dictated by rookies that come in here and have their first experience as part of the SFLm, because anyone that, if they have a bad rookie experience, they're going to bounce off the league, because after they get drafted, they have a bad minor league experience. Now you're telling me my stats cost 3 to 10 times more, and I don't progress as often, I don't get paid as often, and I'm stuck down at number 2, 3, or 4 on the depth chart. Like, how are you going to keep these people retained if they don't have something else here, something tangible that they are finding themselves in, or something they are finding joy in with the league? We got to find ways to make it easy and interesting for them to get plugged into this league in any and all ways possible.
Indeed. One thing that I know that was covered on Streets of Talking when you made your guest appearance on there, was the question about allowing maybe one representative from the SFL majors to be able to go and to facilitate conversations with rookies. Rookies are not often in general chat, so we don't see them. We don't really know who they are unless they decide they want to be brave and come on shows like this, or go out there and just start talking and feel comfortable enough to do so. So would you be opposed to maybe designating one individual per team that wants to be involved in that to be able to have that open connection to the SFLm?
So I originally, when I was posed this question, I didn't have a whole lot of working knowledge. Since then, I've heard that one of the things that Eddie said I believe that Eddie said at the time when that question was originally posed was that rookies said that they weren't comfortable or intimidated by the idea of SFL ownership or GMs being able to see in there and being able to reach out and talk to them because of what they're seeing in the SFLm general chat. So to that end, I feel that now that I've gotten a number of permissions and authorities, the easiest thing for me to do first and foremost is to just poll the rookies and see if that's still the case. Ask the current crop and say, hey guys, are you guys scared to talk to owners and to have owners and GMs be able to see in here? Is that going to intimidate you guys or make y'all uncomfortable? I'm not necessarily going to give permissions to talk. I might, could be, but at the very least, giving visibility in the general channel is something that I think as long as the rookies themselves are fine with it, I am not opposed to having visibility for for pro team front offices. But it's on the rookies to accept that and to say that yes, they are fine with y'all collectively being able to see and have that kind of access. So if they're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Okay. What do you foresee as being one of your biggest challenges to start? Ground zero.
Learning what we can and cannot do to improve the ability and speed, the affordability and speed, there we go, of rookie progressions and dev league progressions. Because I think fundamentally there is an inability for SFL rookies under the current system as it stands exactly right now to be able to stay in the SFLm for a 12-month period and have a finished competitively viable build at current. I do think that steps have been taken to try and correct this and make improvements. However, to some extent, there's always going to be a push and pull with any change made. One of the fundamental facts that we're giving $250K in bonuses to rookies right now is a good thing in the short term and the medium term, but one of the things that it will do is it will cause a greater inflation of what these rookies are going to start costing over time, because $250K means inflation across the entire league because of how salary cap progressions work right now for the rookies and for dev league players, because it's all the same from dev league to rookies to dev league to pro. It's just right now the rookies and dev league players are in one pool and the pro players are in another pool, and that's all there is to it right now. This needs to be more complex. There needs to be more nuance to this. There needs to be improvements made, but what I am able to do is something that I have to talk to Cam, find out what's actually technically possible within the constraints of the system that we have versus what is out of the question versus what is, yeah, we can do that, but it's going to take time. So these are questions that I still have to find the answers to. And then once I have some of these basic questions, I then have to do a lot of math to start trying to figure out what kind of fundamental changes I can make and what those changes will do to the economy. Because any changes that I'm making to these rookies whenever they're drafted, a team's not going to want to pay for a $5 million rookie that's an 85 overall player. That's a fact. That's just a fact. $5 million rookie for 85 overall is not cutting it. So I'm saying, like, yeah, you can draft them and you get the free rookie year, but then it's cuts, and then that's 85 is like what, a 75 by the time those cuts are done. So, and there's still $1 million, and
now they're upset.
Yeah, they're upset. They're 10 points lower They're $2
Yes.
million, which is still too expensive for what they're doing. That's kind of the thing that I've got to tackle and target on and focus, because 12 months is kind of my ideal sweet spot, maybe even 18. 12 to 18 months is how long I want someone to be in the minor league system to have a cohesive, complete build. Because if they don't get drafted when they're first up for the draft, okay, that happens. I'm not going to just boot you out of the minor leagues. I'm not going to punish you for that. But after a certain amount of time, I've got to get you out before you completely break the salary cap system. Or I've got to change the salary cap system, which is I got to talk to Cam to see how I can change the salary cap. Or not the salary cap, the salary pool. That's the word I'm looking for. I got to figure out how if I can even change the salary pool. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I get to learn, and a lot of things that I've got to figure out once I learn that info. So it's crazy. That's the biggest challenge, but it's also the most important one to get right, I think, because at the end of the day, paying customers are here to see their players grow and to see their players perform and to see meaningful progression over the course of time. And I think that right now we can do better for our new customers. We can do better for our rookies.
Speaking of that, I'm wondering, what are some of your goals in terms of growth and engagement? As far as getting more fans to watch SFLm games, and even keeping the rookies involved. So are you going to maybe have like daily challenges where rookies can check in, to their teams, and maybe that team who has the most check-ins can get some kind of incentive? Do you have any kind of plans in that regard to kind of get everyone kind of excited?
So there's been some conversations. I will say that there are some things that I'm currently working on that are in the pipeline that I think are close to deliverable. I'm just waiting on final approval for. So I'm going to talk in the sense of like, I'm literally going to Cam's this week, right? I'm going over there to get my own production truck set up, to get everything ready and good to go. Get trained on exactly how he does the broadcast so I can do that. And that gives me a unique opportunity to work with him one-on-one over a period of time to hammer out a lot of these questions and find out if a lot of these ideas that I have are actually feasible and things that I have approval to do. Because to some extent, I don't know what I can and can't do. Theoretically, I can do a lot. But when the rubber meets the road, that's where I need to know, yes, I have this green light. No, you can't just do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
yes.
With all that caveat, let's talk some hypotheticals that I want to do, okay? So some hypotheticals that I want to do. Number one, coaching mentors and mentees program. I want people who are not coaches who want to learn how to coach and want an opportunity to actually create playbooks and see those playbooks work. I want to set up a program where people sign up to be menteed. They're matched with mentors, and everyone that signs up to be a mentee is also given the opportunity to attend coaching seminars that will be hosted by various coaching luminaries in the league about how to make playbooks, things to consider, get a few varying viewpoints. I'm going to have multiple coaches on. I'm going to have multiple people with various resumes on, because I think that one, multiple perspectives are important, and two, we do have a number of different champions over the course of this SFL history. I don't see one team with 20 banners, so therefore one person doesn't have all the answers. But there are a few people that you can ask that have a lot of information. People like Baltimore's head coach, who has confirmed that he is willing to give coaching seminars for me and to be a part of this program. He's not the only one, but he's the one I'm going to flash his resume right now, because he's got a few championships under his belt.
Okay, I was muted. Okay, and that's important. And those are the people that you want to take heed and listen to, because if you are successful, obviously there's a reason that you are, and you'd want to learn from those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So going beyond that, I also want to get people involved in various roles of the community and incentivize that. Um, with the mentor mentee program, another step that I want to take is I want to have all of these mentor mentees who attend these lectures also create playbooks. And once a playbook is submitted to me, I award that mentee a sum of cash to be disclosed. Let's say in the current economy, I award them $50,000. And then I take all of these playbooks that have been submitted, run them, and take some of these mentee created playbooks and sim them against each other and broadcast that and invite these two and others to watch these playbooks go against each other. I'll just use generic rosters from 2K. I'll use maybe some of the more balanced SFL rosters that aren't like hundreds everywhere. I don't know who that would be, but just like use reasonable rosters. Like use rosters that aren't like 90s everywhere, because some of these rosters in the SFL are crazy and just about any playbook is going to kill with it on the right day. So I want to see more balanced, realistic football matching up against each other with these playbooks to really gauge how these playbooks perform in a vacuum and give these students of the game helpful feedback in a way that I don't think, frankly, that SFLm matches currently provide, because the level of rookies and generics and rookies who are just starting out their SFL journey are not at a level where the engine that we use produces beautiful football on a consistent basis. We get flashes of brilliance, but we only get flashes unless you have a couple of real stars in key places on squads. So those flashes of brilliance are nice and are beautiful for the game and beautiful for the league, but to teach people how to game plan, they need to have a little bit more of a cohesive roster than what the defaults give you. You know what I mean?
I do.
So match these playbooks against each other. Give kids that submit playbooks $50K for submitting those playbooks. Have that as like a once a month cadence, and make this a regular occurrence so that anyone who wants to learn coaching has these opportunities. This list of people who are learning how to coach will also be put in front of SFLm owners, and then after that list is gone through, SFL owners, to give people an opportunity to hire some of these people. And when and specifically if they are hired by SFLm ownership, that mentor-mentee duo then gets put on whenever that mentee is on a coaching staff for an SFLm team, their mentor also gets pulled in both to the locker room and to the owners, and into the locker room for that team and to the SFLm general chat, regardless of the question of what the rookies decide for general, because mentors and mentees if they get hired by SFLm ownership, are here to contribute their time and efforts to the SFLm as a whole, and that should be rewarded.
I like that. I like that. See, that's the fresh thinking that I think needs to be injected, And I really hope that Kim, is on board with that.
Here's something else I'm thinking. Incentivize people participating in SFLm stats. You do stats for a game, I pay you. You broadcast one of my SFLm games and you're a rookie, I pay you. I want to incentivize people to try things. And I think the easiest way to do it is to flash some virtual cash at them. I'm not giving them my PayPal, but I'll put something in your bank account. I'll wire you. I'm good for it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you cleared that up.
So like these are some ideas that I'm having because I feel like that cash incentive might make people who are on the fence move. or
Yes.
people who otherwise wouldn't be interested give something a shot that they wouldn't think twice about. And if they don't like it, okay, you don't have to do it after you get drafted. It's not going to be incentivized when you hit the pros, but hey, if you know how to do this, you're going to be a more attractive draft prospect. And if
That's
you try
it.
something that you never thought about trying, and you find out you love it and you're getting incentivized for it, why wouldn't you do it more?
Exactly. Exactly. And again, you're cultivating coaches of tomorrow. People have things that go on in their lives every day, and you may need someone that's going to help fill a role. Why not have a bunch of people that are players that actually know how to put together a playbook if needed? You know, I think that that's a great idea, and I'm on board with that 100%. Um, One of the things that's important to me, even as a player, as being an owner myself, is to be there. I want to see my owner as a player in the room or in the locker room. I want to see the commissioner in the community. So I'm wondering, how are you going to facilitate a good relationship with the owners, with the players? How are you going to be there and then physically see you in the SFLm?
Well, I think the first and most easiest thing to do is to make myself available and to occasionally be in there as reasonably often as possible, at least once a day.
Yes.
But I'm also a player in there right now as well, so it's kind of a funky. I'm in a very funky situation where I have intentionally asked for less powers than I should be having right now because I am also a participant as a player in the same league that I am expected to govern. So
Yeah.
I think that expectation of me doing that is also the standard that people should expect whenever my wife becomes the team owner of the Boston Rebels, and I am effect the coaching staff. Unless someone wants to get at me, hit me up. But that aside, to some extent, if we want an SFLm, we have to trust in some integrity in me, and I hope that I've earned that bit of good faith from the community at large. And if you don't know me or don't feel like I have earned that from you, I ask that you give me a chance in good faith, and I will prove that I can be and am impartial when it comes to the governance of the league, because I want what's best for everyone, not what's best for Alex West, because Alex West is out of the SFLm in 2 months, and Zeno West is also going to get drafted in 2 months. What do I care about the player experience? Well, I want to care. I want all of it to be better because of what I experienced over the last 13, 14 months, and where I think some improvements could be made.
That's also going to be another thing that I'm glad that you kind of brought it up, was the fact that, your wife has the Boston Rebels and you're going to be, over the entire thing. So, of course, people are going to have those thoughts of, hey, is he going to have Boston have the best schedule? Because that's his. You're going to have those type of conversations that happen, regardless of what's really going on, right? How are you going to handle that?
Well, I think the easiest way is, first and foremost, if there's ever a situation where Boston could be put in a position of advantage, I ensure they're put in a position of disadvantage. In a proposed 9-game schedule, that means that there's got to be 2 teams that get at least 5 home games and 2 teams that get at least 5 away games, just because of how the format is right now. So that means that Boston has 5 away games next year, if we go with that schedule. That, I feel, is fine and fair. Generally speaking, all of my decisions or changes that I make as an owner would be applying equally to all teams. So there's not very many ways that I can tilt the table in my favor. Some ways that you could argue that I could tilt the table in my favor is because I'm creating these Google Forms for people that people are going to sign up for, mentoring and menteeing and things like that I'm going to have access to this information before other people will. And that's technically true, but in the sense of I'm going to look at this, open this spreadsheet, assign people roles, match people up in a spreadsheet, and then post that spreadsheet in owners channels so people know, oh, hey, here's the latest list of mentors and mentees hiring is going to, and I'll do staggered hiring periods or something like that. At the very least, all of SFLm ownership will know at the same time, because I do feel this initiative is designed to try and get coaching in the SFLm. And I do feel that part of my job is to try and enrich what's happening down here. And that means prioritizing people to coach down here where the stakes are a bit lower and where there's more opportunity to fail without pressure of success. Because down here, if you lose a game or two, it's not as big of a deal. That's just a fact. The SFLm is the spirit of fun, it's not nearly as hyper competitive, even when you've got some players that are happy to jaw off, like my teammates CJ Parrish and Ethan Flowers, who are very, very noisy. But
I remember.
But my changes are here to be made to apply to everyone. My decisions will be transparent. And if anyone feels that I am failing to be partial, I encourage them to call me to account on it. And I'll be open and transparent about what decisions I made, why I made them, how I reached it, and endeavor to be a neutral arbiter. And if I ever fail in that, then Cameron Irvine will hold me accountable at the very least.
Indeed.
But also
all day and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, but also the community at large. I encourage the community to hold me accountable for my decisions. If I, at some point, unfairly advantage the Rebels, I should hear about it. And I should be called to the carpet for it.
Okay. I like that. Shout outs before we go take a little break and bring up our guests that will be joining you and I tonight. What y'all finna do? Uncle Todd Out There Nation. Yes, one of my favorite shows is back. We out there. Yes. Thank you so much for being there, man. I appreciate you. Also says that the intro was fired. Thank you. One of our quarterbacks slash owner coach, Shabazz Synergy, actually put that together for me. And I'm so grateful to him for that. And Ernest McCray checking in. What's up, people? Thank you so much for being here too, fellow Arizonite. Oh, is that a word? Arizonite? Arizonacan?
Now you got me looking it up.
Hey, I don't know.
It's Arizonans. Arizonan. I hate it.
But guess what, guys? Right. I'm going to Arizonian.
I like that more, but it's Arizonan.
Arizonacan. I like that one. I like that better. I don't know why. It rolls off the tongue more. Hey, guys, we're going to be back in about 3 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be bringing up rookie tight end of San Jose Flight, Mr. Rodney Smith, and owner / coach of the Pittsburgh Riverhawks, Mr. Cory Mennor, joining Alex West and I very soon. See you in a bit.
Are you ready?
3 Lucy Reds, please.
Are you ready?
Lucy Red, the energy is amazing.
It's your host with the most, Thaddeus Bluffington Jr. III. And you are now listening to the smooth sounds of Mood by Dis Silas and the Big Back Poppers here on Kicks at 107 FM.
Yeah, I got style, I got grace, see this fit, I got taste, too much drip, too much flavor, in your face, cause know that I'm a mood, better know that I'm a mood, I look good, I look great, see this skin, see this face, you don't love yourself, I can't relate, cause know that I'm a mood, better know that I'm a mood. Too real, can't be fake. See this this drip, take a dip in that lake. I'm a star on top of that rocket, finna blast off. Shout out to Take. Mama gave me the essentials to kick butt, take names, it up and be great. Don't be mad, I'ma move when you look at your food or the rub on the stick on that plate. Baby, I'm mad at me. How I do it so casually. Doing this so big, hell, I can't make it up. Maybe it's Maybelline. Like, who in the hell do you think he is walking around here looking that good? That whoever don't feel the same, butt cheeks about to meet the back of my foot. I got style, I got grace. See this fit? I got taste. Too much drip, too much flavor in your face. Cause know that I'ma move. Better know that I'ma move. I look good, I look great. See this skin, see this face. You don't love yourself, I can't relate. Cause know that I'ma move. Better know that I'ma move. Wanna know what vibe? Anything I get on, they been chirping and buzzing my fizz on. Tryna find out what it is that I'm about to go do, cause they know that I put that shit on. Don't be worried about what I'm gon' work. They friend shit to me, I be like, work. Just know that I'm him and know that she hurt. But that don't mean you can touch my fur, baby, I concur. Baby, I concrete. That mean I'm silent whenever I speak. I'm feeling bad to the bone and my bone color fit. Went to bone tone just to eat, that's bon appetit. Damn, I look good. Say it to yourself now, don't it feel good? Now stop counting yourself out, one of a kind. Tink, look, engine that could. I got style, I got grace. See this fit? I got taste. Too much drip, too much flavor in your face. Cause know that I'ma move. Better know that I'ma move. I look good, I look great. See this skin, see this face. You don't love yourself, but I can't relate. Cause know that I'ma move. Better know that I'ma move.
And we are back, everyone. Now, I played that song especially for my guest down here at the bottom, Cory Mennor. Oh, you are muted, sir. What's the matter?
I'm here.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm here. I'm happy. I mean,
this is my happy face energy out here. This man.
I mean,
you gotta bring the mustache up off the lips so
do
we
you
can
want...
actually see you smile, brother. I
know. You know what?
I was just telling you what my wife tells me whenever I pose with her photos. Okay.
No, I was just telling my wife that earlier today. I need to trim it a little bit because I was drinking my coffee and my coffee was getting filtered by my stash first.
Oh
so.
no! Yep. It's been time.
So
it's been time.
I'm getting like triple filtering here through my stash, and you know,
at least you're not sipping grounds.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be.
I
wouldn't have to worry. I was gonna say I wouldn't have to worry about it. You know, it's getting all caught up, but. No, I need to do some trimming and some. It's getting a little out of hand.
You gonna have that handlebar in a minute? Just go all the way out there, man. You know.
You know what? If the plant pays me just enough money not to do that,
just enough.
Like, trust me. Like, I'm gonna have to trim this part off here sometime this month because we got physicals coming up, and I gotta. And OSHA says it's no, but, you know. I got other words for OSHA, but I can't say them on the show.
Please don't get in trouble. I don't want you to get fired.
I ain't worried about that.
Okay. Cool.
But I'm here. I'm happy.
I got it.
I'm just, you know, I'm sorry I'm not bouncing around like Richard Simmons or something, you know. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm just chill.
No, you're good, baby. You're all good. I was just messing with you. I want to welcome newbie to the show, Mr. Rodney Smith, tight end for San Jose Flight. And as I said before, San Jose Flight is always represented on this show. And I really appreciate you for continuing on with that, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on the show. Excited about the evening.
Awesome. I'm actually going to start with you first since you're the newbie. Guys, y'all can relax a second. You know, what brought you here? Like, how did you find us, Rodney? And like, why did you choose to be a tight end for the league too?
Well, I've been playing Madden coaching leagues for years, and I still do a little bit of it. And our league was kind of falling apart, and 2 or 3 of the guys were like, "Hey, this is what we're going to go do." And so I had a long conversation with one of them about what it was all about, and I thought, man, that's interesting. So I started looking into the league, and I know they joined, and I started looking into it, and thought, that's a neat concept. I want to try it out and see what happens. And honestly, I picked the tight end. Growing up, that's what I played. They're great athletes. The size, the strength, and being a Cowboy fan, which a lot of people probably don't like, but I'm a Cowboy fan. Growing up watching Jason Witten play, and I just kind of put my player to Jason Witten. I mean, honestly, his strength, his size, and so that's why I picked tight end.
Okay. Corey, why you look at him like that when he said he was a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, that's what I
He already had one strike. He already had one strike against him for that burnt orange shirt. Then he mentions the Cowgirls, and then it's like, you know what? Yeah, he just got dropped off my draft prospect list.
Corey, you and I are going to be best friends. I'm telling you.
Hey, we can all unite in our hatred for Jerry Jones. Okay.
I never said I was a Jerry Jones fan. Never said
exactly.
That.
I know. There's not one Cowboy fan alive that's a fan of Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I can't.
Not one. Not one.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm not a Jerry Jones fan.
But they keep him around now. Keep him around.
They don't have a choice, and he's making a lot of money.
I'm sure. Like that. So, what is one accomplishment, Rodney? Well, first, I'm going to ask this question a little differently. Is there any position or is there anything besides being a player that you would like to try? So, we were just talking about maybe doing coaching or scouting, or maybe do you want to try being on the broadcast team or the stats team?
Well, I'm already working on that, on the stats side of it.
Okay.
I've watched Eddie a couple of times now. I don't seem like it's that hard, so already working toward the stat side of it, and have some inquiries out about the scouting side also. I eventually want to become an owner. I'm not going to lie. I mean, is that not what we're all here for? I mean, I don't know. Some people may not be, but I want to be very, very. I want to be a very big part of the league.
Couldn't be happier to hear it. Let's go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Alex, I know I reached out to you on something earlier. I mean, you responded back quickly. I appreciate that. I really honestly do. That goes a long way for me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, going back to Corey. Now, Corey, your season for the SFLm majors just ended. And now we're going back to unpausing SFLm and going through week 7 now. You just had your game. Man, how are you feeling? Like, what is that process like for you going, like, ending one season and going straight into another one with basically no break?
To me, I'm a person that's used to just jumping from one thing to another. I mean, with league stats, putting it up on the website, that was all year long. There was no stop. It was, I got done with the majors, then it's jumped to minors. As soon as minor get done, get right back to majors. And in between the seasons, having to adjust the league rosters on the website. I mean, I'm already used to just go. So it didn't really faze me none, but luckily I got a great group within our front office. Typically I just handle the defensive side of the ball during the majors, but I got with Gino and give him a little bit of break because he's been kicking ass and just trying to do what he could, the best he could for this past season. So I told him, look, just you take a break, You worry about next season's playbooks. Let me worry about the minors, and it gives me an opportunity to get more in depth with the offense because I've never really played with that side of it. Let me get some experience doing it. I know, obviously, San Jose beat the crap out of us, so it didn't really work that well. But hey, it's one of those learning curves. That's the way I'm taking it. It's just one of those little learning things, and so in the long scheme of things, I mean, it really wasn't that big of a jump for me to just go from one to the other. It is a whole lot different with the players you have on the team.
Yes.
Because they kind of get jumbled up a little bit. I mean, we don't even have a player quarterback. We have a generic. We're the one team with a generic quarterback for the season until somebody joins. So, that's really the only trouble I have right now is just navigating that. But I'm going to get it figured out. We're going to get the ship right. And I know we had a rough loss against San Jose, but we're going to get the ship right before the end of the season. At least we got to beat Philly. We got to beat Philly. I can't end the minor league run with a loss to Philly. That would just kill me. I can't give Chris Britton the satisfaction. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Well, we can actually switch gears a little bit to talk about some of these games. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the larger graphics. So, okay, funny story where it says week 1 scores, right? I put that one there because I was thinking, maybe they just accidentally put the 7 there. But it was actually, it is actually week 7 that we're unpausing and going back to. So it's like week 1, but it's also week 7. So scores include, let me go ahead and pull up my notes. Of course not. So the Albuquerque Adams took on the Lexington Miners, and Albuquerque wins 28-13. Bossier City wins over the Chicago Warriors 42-10. Nashville takes the win over Philly 19-14. And as we alluded to earlier, San Jose Flight wins over the Pittsburgh Riverhawks 41-24. So, guys, now, some of these, couple of these games would definitely stand out. They were, how do I want to put it? Blowouts, unfortunately. Now, again, these are rookies. Again, these are playbooks that you guys are taking completely new bills and trying to incorporate them and make them work. So, and then it's game 1. Back from a big break that we had. So I get it. I want to know, Cory, what is one thing looking back on your game between San Jose and you guys? What is one thing in hindsight that that you will need to work on just from game 1?
Hands down, the first thing that comes to mind is on the defensive side of the ball. It's not so much as a heavy work flip as so much it is just minor adjustments here and there and who I got where. It's minor, but it's mainly the defensive side. We gave up too much of the deep ball. So that is the one biggest thing we need to focus on. And offensively, I'm weeding through that, deciding what would be the best route. If got to take the good with the bad on this one. I'm just trying to still sort that one out. But off the top of the head, defense is the number one thing I need to get lined out for the next matchup against BCS next week.
Yeah, they're doing that thing too.
Oh yeah, Rodney. They did.
Oh yeah. What was it? 40? Yeah, they scored 42. So.
Yeah, they showed no mercy to the Chicago Warriors. I watched that one and they were merciless against them.
So Rodney, on the other side of that, what were your thoughts on the game? Your first game.
Well, I've been watching some of the other games, and like I said, it was my first game, so it was exciting to watch to see if my player would even get in the game. Would I like to see my player do more? Absolutely, but it's all about the team win, and I thought our team ran the ball very well. It was just all in all, it was a great win. The defense looked pretty good in my opinion, and I think the coaches did a great job. I mean, I was pleased with my guy. He got some playing time, so that was exciting.
Indeed, anytime you can see your player do your thing, well, get the shine that you're paying for.
Absolutely,
it's a great deal. And I know that does put a lot of pressure on coaches too, because you do, as a coach, want to get everybody involved that you drafted, that you picked up, that's on your team, right?
Correct.
Just to keep you happy. So that's the plight of a coach. I'm actually wondering about this Miners game. So, Commish, what was going on here? What do you think some improvements needed to be for Miners?
So, sometimes it's just not your day. And when I say it's not your day, I mean sometimes I, as a commissioner, would like to check the balls to be greased up, because 4 fumbles in a day, you're not going to win a football game that way. When you fumble the football 4 times, that's uphill. And then when you get the wildest, ticky-tackiest, ineligible receiver downfield call to wipe out a touchdown I've ever seen in my life. Let me set the scene for you, okay? Red zone threat. Team is looking to try and score, to try and catch up. There's a route that's going down to the end zone. Ethan Flowers delivers a beautiful ball that gets caught, goes for 6, but a flag is on the field. And it's because Landon Stone, left tackle extraordinaire, pancake blocks his guy, and the guy rolls backward to drag him 3 yards forward. The defensive player rolls backward and throws Landon over his head like a sumo wrestler. What? That wipes out a touchdown for us. And then I watched myself not get 1 foot in bounds because the ball was moving pretty hot and I was going on a streak route to the back of the end zone and I didn't drag the toe. So that's 2 touchdowns wiped out, 1 by a ticky-tack penalty, 1 by me not having my head screwed on straight, and 4 fumbles that absolutely determined the overall momentum of this football game. Credit to Albuquerque.
Any given Sunday.
That did the job. Credit to Albuquerque. They had a game plan to get the job done. We have some adjustments to make. We also just need to have our heads screwed on straight next time we take the field. We'll do better. We're better than what we showed.
Indeed. It's like I said, it's week 1. You get fresh. Well, week 7, week 1. You're back.
It's a fresh set of games. It's a new slate. It's a new playoff chase that we're hunting for. It's a new number 1 seed that we're all looking. It's a new bye week. So it's all, the momentum's all from zero. No matter what the records are, whoever has the best record over these next 6 games is guaranteed playoffs, regardless of what your record was in the first half. So it's all fresh start for everyone.
Good I'm glad you mentioned that. Shout out to the chat. Art Vandelay, that's my tight end. Flight for life. My man, Rodney Smith.
Yeah, Art and
He says sorry.
Art and I have had a few conversations too, so yeah. Try to stay involved.
Indeed. J.W. Hartshorn joining in. Going to be joining Indeed. Hey, congratulations on your accomplishment, man. I'm really happy for you. Good to see you. And he has a special message for Cory. Keep your head up, Cory. You're one of the hardest working coaches I've worked with you, and you always take the time to learn from a loss. I believe in you, bub. No.
Man, JW's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He's the wind beneath my wings.
Make sure you tell him.
I thought you was gonna sing it. Like if you're gonna say it, you're gonna have to sing it, okay?
No,
you raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
I didn't think you was gonna do it. I love it. I love it.
You know me, I have no shame whatsoever.
That's the best way to fucking live.
That's it.
Way to go, Commish.
Oops.
What happened? Artist says that ain't the same song.
He's confused, but he's got the spirit. Let it go.
Oh my God. Okay, guys. So what do you think would be some fun ways to be able to advertise for the SFLm to get more people, to get new fans, brand new people involved? And this is a question for any one of you that wanted to jump in on this. I like the exhibition games that Axel was doing.
This is where I'm also going to take off, because right now I have enough figuring out ideas for problems on my plate. I'm gonna let y'all debate it. I've heard a few ideas for this, and I'll just let people come up with their own.
Margarita night.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
No,
so how does that
work? I don't know. I'll have my own margarita. I mean, everybody else can figure that out. No, I mean it's kind of like what was said. I don't, forgive me because I don't remember what chat I saw it in, but and it might have been Alex himself that put out that the SFLm is there, but it's not there. It's only those in the minors that really give it all the the run and everything, and as well as the owners and the coaches and stuff. But we just got to get total community involvement more. I'll be honest, I haven't been able. It's going to sound bad. I've been kind of in my own little world, jumping from one league to the next league, trying to get things moving. So I haven't able to give it personally much thought on how to get, but in the locker room with the guys that have decided to stick around for season 24 for the Riverhogs, as well as some of the free agents that I know we're going to be picking up. I've been trying to put it out there to them, hey, I'll send them the link for the game, just trying to get them, hey, come watch the other Riverhogs. Riverhogs aren't taking a break right now. We got games till Kingdom Come as of right now. So, come check it out. I'm just trying to get these guys more involved, and hopefully that starts picking up and spreading like a little bit like a wildfire, a little more, just trying to bring them all in, to support each other, because that's the end of the day. It's all SFL. We're all under one group, so why not support each other in this venture? You know what I mean?
That's so real.
And that's
real, Cory.
That's one of the things that I'm trying to say this delicately, because I know things go around. But that's one of the things when I first became an owner that kind of, I know how some owners can be critical of other owners or other decisions, other things, and that kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because we're supposed to be doing this together, Yes, we're going to have disagreements. We're going to have other thoughts, but what good is it going to do to try to hurt the league or hurt the other team or what. It's just not going to do you any good. We're supposed to be helping and elevating each other, so we can all get to the best we can with that help, and then you're on your own kind of thing. But I mean, I know I'm kind of rambling on about it, but that's just one of those things that just keeps dragging on my mind, is that kind of stuff. Is how I think it just needs to be more unified as a league somehow, some way.
Okay.
I definitely see what you're saying there as well. There could absolutely be more SFL buy-in to the SFLm. Art brings up a good point that that having alumni for your teams is important for a level of player engagement, and I absolutely agree that's the case. But also, I think that people just need more opportunities and reasons to care for the SFL. Whether that be purely from a coaching standpoint of, oh, I want to coach, so therefore I want to be invested in what's going on down there, because those are the most readily available opportunities for me to go and get are going to be in the minor leagues, because there's going to be multiple people that are going to want to learn how to coach, and there's teams that need coaches, there's teams that need coordinators, and when people do well in these sims that I'm going to be setting up, those are going to be broadcast. People are going to be able to say, I have a 4-1 record in these monthly sims, and maybe get a job off that. Who knows? There's anything is possible there, but there's also what Cory was saying with cross-pollinating within his own team, where he's making a point to try and bring as many of his own players over to watch stuff. And I think that same idea of getting the community involved and getting players on all teams involved in scouting and coaching and broadcasting and doing stats, whatever it is that you're doing to help, you can also say, hey, I'm working with this team, come watch our game, tell me what I can do, or tell me what you think. Hey, so-and-so is coaching, or hey, so-and-so is coaching for, or so-and-so's playbook is the one that's being run for the San Jose flight this week. We should watch and see how his book does. One of our teammates is getting on the air for the first time in the SFLm this week. We got to watch that game. We got to show up and support Lars Bazaar. It's his first broadcast ever, things like that. So getting people more involved in the SFLm and making it easier and more accessible to get involved in the SFLm, and to some degree incentivizing it, because why not? To reward those people that do decide to put themselves out there, that do decide to give back to the league a little bit, see a little bit in your bank account. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me none. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And we can all use a little bit of cash, a little bit of incentive money. Rodney, what do you think, especially from your perspective as a rookie, what do you think that the league could do to probably draw in more rookies?
Honestly, that's tough. Again, I've been in here 2 or 3 months now, and it's just kind of been a waiting process for me, unfortunately. I paid my first 3 months, and then I was excited about getting started. But now, I hear, it could take you 2 years to get to the majors, and I'm thinking, well, that kind of stinks. But you got to do what you got to do. I like some of the things Alex is saying. I do think it needs to be a quicker process. The other thing that's interesting to me about the league, and I don't quite understand, I guess a player can change teams every year, and in the minors in the middle of the year. Is that correct? You're on mute. Alex. Sorry.
So this year's a little bit special. I'll explain a little bit of what's going on. So part of what's happening here is that this is the very first year that the SFLm is having a 12-game season that's split over this entire period. There has been some shuffling of rosters to accommodate for players that got offers to become undrafted free agents midway through the year, because there were teams that needed players, couldn't find those players on the free agent pool, so they went to rookies and offered them a contract in the majors, and those rookies accepted. So there was some natural attrition there. Can't stop those rookies, but I do think But I do think that the fact that they accepted it instead of just staying in the minor leagues just also means that there's got to be some changes to the minor league experience to make it to where they say, no, I'll stay in the minor leagues. I'll stay in the minors and finish my progression cycle. But that has to be a rewarding cycle for you in the first place. The players being shuffled around because some of these players in the first half of the season weren't necessarily true rookies like you. You haven't been drafted yet. No. I was drafted last year, but I'm still in the minor leagues on the Lexington Miners. But I was also on the major league squad for the Lexington Miners this year because I got drafted by them last year. But this year, because I'm a developmental league player, meaning that my overall was low enough in the overall pool, I got to progress this year as if I were a rookie. And when we hit the halfway mark this year, my progression was still low enough that I was awarded one more year of developmental league, which is how I'm in the minors once again. There are some players that were in the developmental league last SFL season, I should say, SFL season 2022, which started in January of this year. And that was happening at the same, whenever that finished, that would be the equivalent of the first half of this minor league season. Those players that were on the developmental league for that first half, some of them got their overalls so high that they then graduated from the developmental league and they were not eligible for that second half of the year developmental league. So the league looks at what players' overalls are to try and determine whether or not their build is competitive. So that kind of shuffling around and that reallocation of players is what we had to do to try and balance some of these teams because of how many rookies some of these squads have lost and how many developmental players aged out.
And is there a? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take. I have a question. Is there
please. I want you to ask your question.
An age that they age out, or is it just up to the player to take them out?
I say age out. That's the wrong terminology, even though that's how I kind of think about it. So the tiers, essentially, I'll walk you through it. So right now you're a rookie. You're going to be a rookie until you become eligible for the draft, at which point I guarantee you're going to be drafted. That's just going to happen. You're on Ashley's show. It happens. The personal experience can recommend. While you're a rookie, your draft eligibility, I shouldn't say your draft eligibility, you don't have to worry about what your overall is at all. You just progress. You make your build. You go until someone drafts you. Mm-hmm. Once you are drafted, if you have not progressed your build to where the game thinks that your overall is high enough for you to be competitive, you will get placed in the developmental league. And that will be a way for you to continue to progress at a discounted rate because there are some stats in the majors that are expensive as all hell. I'm talking 100 to 300K, depending on the stat and depending on the position. 100 to 300K for 1 point each and every point. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, the brain. I was going somewhere, but I feel like if I go too far, I'll just start to ramble. So right now you're in the rookie cycle. If you develop your player enough to have a high enough overall, you will never be in the developmental league unless changes are made to the current eligibility. Psst, I'm working on that. Shh.
Dope. So, Cory, you being an owner, and of course I'll give my 2 cents. If you don't cover everything, I think we're pretty much similar in what we want. But as an owner, what are you looking for in a rookie? Like, what are some of the things that would attract? You know what? I'm taking this rookie. You're going to be number 1 on my draft board.
So I don't know if anybody watched the Streets Are Talking earlier, but I think you mentioned it. Keith was on there, our GM.
Yes.
And he did an outstanding job. I mean, he pretty much nailed every aspect of what we're looking for with our team. Now, don't get me wrong, player stats, attributes, that's an important thing. But we want somebody who's going to jive and mesh well within the team culture we're building for the Riverhogs. For like one of my biggest personal things, I'll just put it out there. I don't care for drama.
Yeah.
I don't care for any of that. So don't be coming into the locker room, and I hate to use this phrase, but don't come into the locker room being a cancer for the team.
Yeah.
I'm not about that. I mean, Ashley, you and I have talked numerous times. I'm always one of those dudes that I'm chill. I just like to let the good times roll, and don't be bringing no BS over. So that's honestly a big factor of it too. And if you can't mesh with our team culture and what our ultimate goal is with the Riverhogs, just like Keith said earlier, I mean, we have no problem giving you the boot. I mean, I don't want to.
Does that happen a lot? I mean, this is supposed to be fun, right?
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be fun, but I'll be honest with you. There's just some people that, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with some trash talking. Nothing wrong with a little bit of talking back and forth. But there are some folks who just want to take it just a tad too far. I'm not going to name the player, but I had that happen with season 8. Our very first season as a minor league team, like I said, it's only minors, but you know what? You're going to be waving the Riverhog flag. You're going to be respectful for the most part. If I got to reel you in and be like, hey, look, this is not what we're about, then I'm going to let you know about it. I have no problem with saying something to somebody, especially if you're going to be representing our team. I mean, I know it's only for one season, but I don't want us to get a bad reputation. I don't want us to be that team.
And to temper some of what Cory's saying here, there is room for trash talk. There is room for
absolutely
there is room for healthy competition. But I will say that in any league that has a community that's more than 10 people, anything that's more than 10 is at least going to have one person that takes things a little more competitively than everyone else in the room. And to certain extents, those competitive spirits can flare, and that level. And there's some people that haven't understood or haven't adjusted to what the culture here is and where that level of competition versus community is, because in some leagues, in some places, the competition level is here and the community level is here. In some places, there's no room for there's no room for competitiveness. There's no room for trash talk. Everyone has to be respectful of everyone else all the time. And community focus is here, whereas the competition is kept down here. This league tries to keep a healthy balance of both. There's room for people to talk your shit. There's room for people to walk the walk. But at the same time, being disrespectful or denigrating or being disrespectful to someone else in a very aggressive fashion, it has to be something where y'all are both fine with it and y'all are on the same energy and matching it. Because if one person is up here and one person is over here, then it's just one person being an asshole. And that's the kind of thing that sometimes it's tough to. Sometimes it's just people haven't learned where the community as a whole kind of keeps the temperature.
Come to the Riverhawks and shut your mouth.
No, man, don't. It ain't that. It is not like that, man. It's
okay.
Man. Now he's making me sound out like a damn SFL dictator. Jesus.
No, it's not about that. Okay, so I get where everybody's coming from because I'll probably be the one that deals with the troublesome individuals that depending on how far it goes.
Oh yeah, that's your job, right?
I was gonna say I'm just trying to make your job easier, Ashley. I'm just trying to help you out here.
Listen, my thoughts on that, if it don't come across my desk, I don't got to deal with it. Now, that said, I'm thinking the way I do that whole CEO, director of compliance thing. I feel like everybody's capable of having a conversation, and if you do something to someone that has irked them, pissed you off, whatever, you should be able to go to that person and say, "Hey, I didn't like it when you did that." Now, depending on how that whole conversation flows, I may have to get involved. But I think in the grand scheme of things, when someone does something wrong, you should be able to pull someone's coat and says, "Hey, I didn't like what you did, and can you stop doing it?" And then that person, "Oh, okay, man, listen, I'm sorry. My bad. Maybe I went a little bit too far." That's what I'm expecting. And going back to the expectations of when you join a team as a rookie, my thing is just treat people the way you want to be treated, man. If you want to be respected, you want to be talked to respectfully, you want to be able to have fun and be able to make sure you give that same energy, because you will have some people that feed off of negativity and you just can't be a part of it. I mean, you can. It's just not going to fare well for you. You already got enough stress dealing with outside. Like, if I want to be stressed out, I live in Arizona right now. I can go right outside and be stressed out. As hot as it is out here, instant stress. So, like, I don't want to come to the place that I'm paying a lot of money. I mean, me, because I'm an owner and a quarterback with the add-on. You see what I'm saying? So I want to come to a place where I'm just not comfortable, and nobody should. And when you're in someone's locker room, I think that you got to have respect for yourself and respect for your others, and for others to know when to just, hey, you know what? I'm gonna shut it down. But for us to draft a rookie, definitely personality. You don't have to be the most talkative person in the room, but we would like to see you at least check in at the game day on game day. We understand people have busy lives. We're all grown. Some people are in college, whatever. You don't want, again, the stress level needs to be low. If you can help out with scouting, if you can help out with coaching as a rookie coming in the door, we would definitely pick you over anybody else because you're willing to help outside of being a player. Anybody can just sit back and watch the player on the field. But if you're willing to put in that work and actually figure out how this thing works, and then we can all work together as a unit to make this thing work, because you're cultivated down in the SFLm to be able to help us. That's dope. That's never been done before. So I'm looking forward to this new SFLm revolutionary era where we can get this, not only good players that know how to progress, but we also, they have this added value because now they are broadcasters, or they are statisticians, or they do know how to put together a playbook or things like that. So any way you can improve your draft stock in that regard, you're going to be picked up number one, first round every time. Getting your name out there and even talking. Like Rodney, you coming out there. I put that message out there last week, and I put one out there this week. You were the only one that really came out, So when you're brave enough to come out and, hey, you got the time, you make the time, people will come and make time for you. That's all it's about, So, guys, we are heading into, we're actually doing pretty good. An hour and 19 minutes. I wanted to kind of turn the floor to Rodney and Cory for Alex now. Did you guys have any more questions for Alex before we end things tonight. As far as being commissioned, you have any questions about how things are going to be running for the SFLm that maybe I missed?
Personally, I'm excited about it. I don't know what they did before. I don't know who ran it before, but Alex, from what I've seen and heard, it sounds like you've got it going in the right direction. I hope I'm not down here long enough to find out, but maybe coaching or owning, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But
if you're owning, I really would like to have you down here rather than buying a major league team. I would like to see a few more teams in the SFLm because, frankly, next season or starting next year, you're going to be, I believe, or how many are you going to be in the draft this offseason? No, you're a new rookie, right?
Yeah, that was my first game, so I'm not sure how that works. Yeah.
Do you think now I'm going to put you on the spot here. As of right now, do you think you're going to go and elect to be in the draft? Because you will have played 6 games at least, so you will technically be eligible.
That's a tough question. Again, I don't.
I'll give it to you, but I don't want to tell you what to do. It's your life.
No, I understand. And what we talked about earlier about the minors, and nobody really seems to care about the minors, honestly, other than the minor league players and coaches. And do I want to stay here? No, I'm not gonna lie to you, Alex. I'd rather go into the majors.
No one wants to stay. No one wants to stay in the minors.
Yeah, that's why I'm working so hard to learn the other stuff. And trying to be more involved with it, everything.
Yeah.
But I've got to look at it honestly when it comes about that time.
I get you. Some things to think about just in the greater context of things. There's plenty of opportunities for you to get wherever you want to go. If you were to accept if you go in the draft, then you get to keep your player build. If you were to be undrafted and you signed a contract as a free agent, then you would reset your build. If someone decided to offer you a contract at a different position, you would have to reset your build. So ideally, if you want to go to the pros and you want to keep your build, you go in the draft. If you decide to go this December, then you'll have had 6 months-ish to progress your build. That will be about what you get, and you will most likely be eligible for the developmental league next year, depending on what I get to do to the parameters. But let's just say that I'm looking to prioritize and make rookies' lives a lot better next year. A lot.
What is the developmental league, if you don't mind me asking? That's the minor leagues, am I correct?
As of right now, kind of, sort of. So the developmental league is a term that's being used for players that were drafted by a major league team, but their game rating in the video game that we were using is too low for them to be competitive. So they are designated as developmental league players, put into a pool of players for the minor league teams to get assigned these players to. So like there's a number of people that are there to fill in roster spots, and they get to progress at minor league prices instead of major league prices until they finish their time in the developmental league, which is typically a 6-month stint, because your time in the developmental league is dictated by the major league schedule, because it goes by whatever the SFL season is. That's why some players were in the dev league, in the developmental league, not the minors per se, but they were developmental league players from January to June of this year. And that's because their overalls were low enough in January. And then they got good enough to where come July, they were too good to be developmental players, and they're no longer developmental players. Art, you hit the nail on the head. Those are the players that got drafted too early and need to go back to the minors in the first place. They were not done cooking. They were taken out of the oven too soon. Let me give you some hard numbers here real quick, just to give you like a contextual picture. I will use my player as an example, okay? Whenever a wide receiver is first created, a generic wide receiver, their overall is 55 out of 100. That's how the game evaluates their talent. There's almost no wide receivers in the base ESPN 2K, 2K4 that have an overall that low. Wide receiver overalls are bad. So, I was drafted after 3 months. My overall was a 63 when I was a rookie in Tulsa for season 22. I was terrible. I had 4 catches my rookie season. My only highlight that I hold out from that season was, 1, I looked good in green, and 2, my very first catch ever was a touchdown. Like, that's what I hold on to. That was my rookie season. I was straight cheeks. I was terrible. I did nothing. I contributed to no games. I was invisible. And I was wide receiver 3. So it's not like I wasn't seeing the field. I just never saw the football because I was bad. Come the start of season 24, or come the start of season 23, my overall is a 69. So my overall is still very low because I haven't been progressing stats that really bump my overall. Like I wasn't able to afford any points of catch whenever I was first starting here. I wasn't able to afford barely any. I was able to afford some speed, but not a lot. Yeah, exactly what Art said. Like when your rating is super low, the AI will just never look your way. Period. That's just how it works. Unless like it looks to the highest overall player. And spoiler alert, my wide receiver 1 was a 95 overall. His name's Gabe Manning. He's in the Hall of Fame. You might have heard of him. Might have heard of him. Some folks might have heard of him at least. But the goat aside, I'm not seeing much footballs come my way because my player overall at the start of this year, this season 23, I was a 71 overall to start this season. I just barely squeaked under the line to be Dev League. Now, over the last 6-ish months, I've been spending cash like crazy, and my overall is now, as of right now, an 87. I am strong in the minor leagues. I am very good in the minor leagues. But I'm still a developmental player. I'm a wide receiver 2 on most teams in the pros right now. Most rosters have me as a wide receiver 2, and I'm more expensive than their wide receiver 1. So I'm not really great. I'm working on it though. I got a few more weeks, and then we'll see some salary cuts, and we'll see what happens.
So Rodney, did that help you a little bit?
It did. The other question I've got is, where do you see these ratings at? Because honestly, I go into my progressions and I do my progressions, but I don't know if it's done. I don't know where to look at it at. I don't know how it's helping my guy.
Okay. So the key here.
Art's saying I'm at an 82.
He's
82?
This is his first game and he's an 82. Bull honky.
Rodney's doing a great job on progression.
So some basic things that you need to know about progression. First and foremost, 62. There we go.
That's a little more accurate.
That's more like it. So the first thing you need to know, Rodney, is that everything that we're doing, everyone is playing. What Cam is broadcasting is a PS2 game that's being run on an emulator. It's a program that lets your computer act like it's a video game console. So you download the emulator, you get it set up. I have people who can help you do that. And you get a digital version of this game, which is called a ROM file, and you use the PS2 emulator to run the ROM file. You download the SFLm roster, or eventually the SFL roster, whenever you're on the SFL, off of the website. You put it in your memory card folder for the emulator. Again, people can show you how to do this. And then you can actually go boot up your computer, boot up the emulator that gives you a PS2 on your computer, and then open up the game file. Once you've opened up the actual ESPN 2K4 game, you go in and you go into the options menu and you load the roster file. And then all of the normal rosters for the teams that you see will be replaced with SFLm teams and team rosters. So then you go to your team and you go to your section of the depth chart, and you can actually see what the game rates your overall at based on what your progression is. That's something that the website doesn't tell you, and to my knowledge at current cannot tell you, because that's a lot of code. And it's a lot, and the game itself has its own parameters for what each position's overall is and how it weights everything, and it is too much for us to put that information on the website when the actual SFL website itself, simfl.net, has some of the basic information you need in the roster files. We encourage you to get the emulator and the ROM file, because that's your first step to coaching. If you want to coach, you got to do that. That's a bare minimum. You want to scout, you got to have that. That's a bare minimum.
No, I got you, and honestly, I appreciate it, because I know, you know, the major league team. I don't know how that works. I don't think they're really supposed to be communicating much with the minor league players, or so yeah, any help possible, you know, for that. I will reach out to you on that, Alex, because I have heard a little bit more about the emulator but never got any further with it. So
sure, I want it to be something that I can try and facilitate through myself and through the programs and initiatives I'm going to start. So I encourage those things to start coming to me, instead of people having to ask the community at large for advice or for guidance and just hoping a friendly face comes by and asks us. I encourage people to point things my direction, or point things towards the FAQ page that I'm going to set up that gives you all kinds of basic information to general questions. And then, you know, ping me if you've got something that page doesn't answer. I want to be accessible and available for pretty much anyone in the minor leagues to try and find answers to whatever it is that they need. Because information to me is the most important thing that you all need.
Well, not only that, but when you get, you know, the help like that, and it's a good experience to you, for you, you're going to tell other people about it. If it's not a good experience, guess what? You're not going to get other people to come over to do this, to be in this league. So
customer service 101, baby.
Absolutely.
That's why I took the job. I saw so much potential in the league itself, but also like my experience and what I had as a rookie going in and what my wife experienced. There were good parts, but also so many points of frustration that I'm like, that's really bottlenecking and limiting the potential of what this league has and what the potential rookie experience could and should be. So I want to enhance that in any way and chance that I can.
Corey, you got anything?
That man just yawned. I
think he's getting tired.
Needs to go to bed.
Sleep. It is kind of late.
Papa needs sleep.
I got so now's as good a time as any.
No, I'm good.
Looking at me with murder in her eyes. I think I need to go get that woman some chicken nuggets.
You know, I had a 20-piece chicken nugget, and some sweet and sour sauce, and Zena did cross my mind. I mean, I only ate like 10 of them, but she did cross my mind. I was like, oh, I should have did the ranch thing. What was it? The ranch and barbecue, or ranch and buffalo?
Ranch. It's barbecue and ranch.
I meant to, but I just grabbed my barbecue and I kept it moving.
You'll do it next time. But I honestly think that I need to dip and get her some food. It is 10.
Y'all have a good night. And I want to thank you so much, everybody, for being here. This was fun. Please come back whenever you want to. If you have any new news, Alex, when you do go and get yourself set up, if you want to kind of tell us about how that whole thing went, meeting Cam in person and kind of like, vibing with him and getting you all set up. I would love to hear that story. Okay.
Okay. Not a problem.
All right.
Ashley, thank you.
Y'all have a good night. All right. You're welcome. Rodney, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, just thanks for having us on, and It was a pleasure talking to the other two, and I apologize for yawning at the end. I'm tired. I don't know why.
Hey, man, I'm tired too. It's all good. We old. That's what it is. We old, Cory.
Actually, I did not mean to hang up. Apologize. I was going to tell Cory, I'm going to say, if he'll give me his address, I'm going to send him Bestie shirts so me and him can wear the same shirt next time.
I got a shirt for you. I got a shirt for you.
Oh, you
I came across not long ago. I came across. See, my heartache with the Steelers started for Super Bowl 30, when I swear O'Donnell threw that game so the Cowboys could win. But I went to Goodwill not long ago, and I came across the T-shirt for that, and I just about bought it just so I could burn it. I was like, yeah, that wasn't cool.
No, don't waste that $10.
So, are you from actually Pittsburgh?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, I'm from just north of Pittsburgh. Me and my brother, who's the other owner, we moved to Texas, and a lot more opportunity down here than up there. I will. Yeah. That's why I just stayed down here.
Now, what city did you say you kept cutting out? What city did you say you were in Texas?
Kemah.
Oh, I've never heard of it. Wow.
No,
I travel down in that area all the time for work, and I've never heard of that.
You know where League City is?
I do know where League City is, yeah.
It's literally right next to Kemah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I understand. I live in a little small town called Venus, so yeah, there's not much here. I told nobody knows where it's at either. So that's why I say I'm between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yeah, no, I totally. That's why I just tell everybody Houston. Yeah. Nobody knows where the hell Kemah is.
Yeah, I got you. I
just tell everybody I'm from Houston. It makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, I know where Kemah is because we went to your house, so I know.
I was gonna say, yeah, you know where Kemah is. I mean,
so
we need to convince Cam to do another convention down here because that was very convenient for me.
So Art Vandelay in the chat wants to know: did you say Venus? He might know where you at.
Yeah.
I say I don't have to Google this place now.
Just a little small town.
You might know where you're at. But see, it's funny because being in the league, you will, especially getting your name out there, and when you're telling your story and things like that, people relate to you. And then all of a sudden, you have like some people are newfound and best friends, and they've been together for a long time because they met here. Oh my! See, never mind. He didn't know where it was. You know why?
Oh God!
Is that next?
My man. Actually, you know what? I kind of did know. Now that I kind of, it does ring a bell because it's out near Waxahachie.
Yeah, it's Waxahachie.
It's wax. It's freaking wax. Don't you can't BS a BSer. Trust me. Oh, that pisses my wife off because San Antonio, it's pronounced Bexar County.
Yeah, Bexar County.
But the way it's spelled, it looks like freaking Bexar.
Correct.
Oh, I piss her off with that. I call it Bexar County all the time.
Is she from Texas or no?
She's from Texas. No, she's from Texas. She grew up on the northwest side of Houston.
Okay.
And out near the Cypress area. So she was born in Bexar County and out near San Antonio. So,
beautiful area.
Yeah, and she married a Yankee and pissed her dad off. So, that's cool. It's, I always remind her, you married a Yankee. So, but yeah, no, I like to drive her nuts. I'll call it Bexar County anytime we go out there. Just drives her nuts.
But we actually had a really good time when we were out there in League City. We've been out there twice. We were out there recently. But the first time we were out there, it was so dope because they had Mike St. Green, his wife, beautiful wife. They actually had a big gathering at their house. And so when we landed, we all kind of went there. There was kind of like a pre-party.
That's right.
Kitchen party, and they had it all decorated outside and like welcome SFL. Like she went all out, and the food was amazing. The drinks were amazing too. They had like their backyard set up, like the tiki lights, and it was great. And like that's how we were welcomed to League City. You know,
Now, how many people are you talking about came? Is it just?
Oh, it was a good. I want to say close to 40 people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, at his house.
At MSG's house. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the turnout? What is the turnout for that normally? The
good. It's usually a really good, like anywhere from 80 to like 100 people sometimes, because people bring their families, they bring their significant others. You can bring your children, you know, and yeah, it's good times.
I was planning on going to Baltimore. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think what is it, Baltimore next year?
Correct.
Yes.
So
information is already available on simfl.net. You can go ahead and book your room. You can actually see the hotel we're going to be staying at. And that's another thing. Whenever we do these conventions, and sometimes people get a little upset because it's not in their city, it's not in their town or whatnot. But the components that I know for a fact that he looks at is the proximity from the airport. Most people are flying in. So it doesn't want it to be a situation to where people are traveling hours to go to their hotel. So the hotel or the space has to be within like the airport, a reasonable time away from the airport distance. Eateries, things to do will help, because for those that are not engulfed in the SFL, you want them to be able to kind of go somewhere that's kind of close and be able to still have a good time. The area itself has to have like the big kind of conference room. Like I know we've been in places that were kind of like in Vegas, we had this arena. So it was like set up with big monitors.
Oh,
yeah. It was so dope. It was so
I wish
dope.
I would have made that one.
It was hot though. It was like 120 degrees outside, something like that. But it was dope. It was
but it's dope. Dry heat. It's dry heat. That's tolerable. Living here on the Gulf Coast, I'll trade dry heat for the humidity any day.
Cory's right. Yeah, that's a very true statement.
I have to agree. Coming from Georgia, you know, it's nice and humid over there. I mean, this hairstyle, beautiful over there. But it's hot. And so when we and me being out here for 3 years, now acclimated to dry temperatures, I'm going to Cincinnati, felt like I was dying. I went to Houston, felt like I was dying. It just felt like the air was so heavy. And I was like, what is happening? But you really get acclimated. But Rodney, I suggest that you go to any convention that you can. We've had it in Texas like 3 times. Dallas was the first one. Then I think it went to Atlanta. Then we went to League City. Then it's Vegas. And then it
like
was
Cincinnati area.
And then we went back to League City. We were going to go to Florida in 2020, but of course, with COVID, that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Then we're going to Baltimore. So yeah,
Baltimore's a beautiful area.
Never been. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've been for work, and it's a beautiful area. My wife and I talked about going. Now that they just disappointed, they broke all my dreams and telling me I'm going to be in the minors again next year. I don't, I just don't know how many minor league players go to that deal. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing. Yeah. So.
Well, it's a possibility that you could not. It's a possibility that you'd probably be in the minors again. But the thing is, because you have made your face and you've made, what you want to do for the league known for everybody to possibly see. you will have a better chance of being drafted versus anybody else that just wasn't out there because you just don't know. But people can look at this, they can clip this and see, okay, Rodney was cool. I know he's like this. I know about him. I have a sense of connection with him already. So I don't think it's going to be a situation to where you would go undrafted. I think that Alex is right when he said that.
Yeah, and no, that's fine. It is what it is. We'll figure it out when it comes about. To me, I'm having fun. That's all that matters.
And if you go and you get the emulator and you actually have everything. Mm-hmm. So if you get to go ahead and get the emulator and get yourself prepared, so when those teams are knocking, you know, they want a tight end, they want another tight end to throw it to, they can look at Rodney and be like, you know what, I'm gonna get him because he's gonna help me with everything else, including being the player I need him to be. So it's dope. All right, guys, but I'm not gonna hold you any longer. Y'all have a fantastic night, and again, come back whenever you want to. I'm gonna go. My children are really quiet, so that's usually not thing.
That's a bad thing.
I don't smell any smoke, but we'll see. But y'all have a good night. Looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much, Cory. Very nice meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you, man. Good luck with the rest of your season. You know, welcome to the SFL, and
y'all too.
Just be ready. It gets more. It gets even more exciting.
We'll get
Trust me.
I'm excited.
And Rodney, if you need any help, if you need anything, you can always come to me as well. Okay, my door is open for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Right. Anytime. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, Cory. Good luck to you too, brother. You know, go do your thing, man. I know it's, you know, try to get you some rest when you can because I know you're balancing working, you're balancing being a league staff member, and you're also balancing these playbooks. So do the best you can, man. You know, I'm always a fan of you.
You know, we're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna make it through.
I know you will. You know why? Because you Cory Mennor. That's what it is.
You're damn right. Damn right.
You have a good night, man.
You too, Ash.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really hope that you enjoyed the show. It was great getting to know Rodney and to get to hear from Alex in his new position, and even being able to hang out with my boy Cory, pick his brain a little bit. So we have a good thing here. I really want everybody to get, you know, involved or on board or either just support. Watch a couple of games for the SFLm, you know, support someone like you wanted to be supported when you were a rookie. That's all I'm saying. I enjoyed my rookie season. I had that one game. You know, these guys have a plethora of games, so go support them, okay? All right, guys, I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. For Cory, for Rodney, and for Alex Stryker, we are out. Don't forget to put your goodbyes in the chat, and I'll be sharing across the screen, okay?
best to feel.